If you're over 60, there's a good chance at least one food in your kitchen is quietly working against your heart. Not because it's dangerous, not because it's toxic, but because your body no longer works the same way it did 20 years ago. And here's what surprises many people. Some foods that seem healthy on the surface are rarely found in a cardiologist's own kitchen. Many older adults spend thousands of dollars every year trying to protect their heart. They buy supplements, they follow internet trends, they cut out entire food groups. But if you followed a cardiologist into the grocery store today, you might be shocked by what actually ends up in their shopping cart. Today, we're going inside a cardiologist's kitchen. You'll discover 7 foods many heart specialists regularly eat themselves after age 60. Foods commonly associated with healthy blood vessels, healthy circulation, healthy aging, and long-term heart health. But don't skip ahead, because the food ranked number 1 is not salmon, it's not blueberries, and it's probably sitting in your pantry right now. And before we begin, I'd like to know who's watching today. Are you in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s? Leave your age in the comments below. I read every comment personally, and it helps us create future healthy aging videos specifically for your age group. Now let's begin with food number 7. One of the biggest mistakes people make after 60 is assuming their body works exactly the same way it did at 40. It doesn't. As we get older, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible, recovery becomes slower, inflammation becomes more common, and small daily habits begin to have a much bigger impact on long-term health. The good news? Many of those habits are completely within our control, including what we put on our plate every day. Now, that doesn't mean aging automatically leads to poor health. In fact, researchers studying some of the world's healthiest older adults often find something interesting. Many of them eat surprisingly simple foods, not expensive supplements, not celebrity diets, not miracle products. Simple foods they eat consistently for years. And one of those foods appears later on today's list. And before we get to food number 7, there's something important to remember. This isn't about finding one magical food. No single food can do that. What matters is the pattern. The foods cardiologists choose regularly, the foods they continue eating year after year. And food number 7 is a perfect example. Food number 7 is probably already sitting in your refrigerator. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. Most people think of berries as a healthy snack, but many cardiologists see them differently. They see them as one of the simplest ways to add powerful plant compounds into a daily routine. And that's important after 60, because many of the body's natural protective systems become less efficient as we age. But one food later on today's list may be even more powerful than berries. Now, berries are a great start. But the next food surprises many people, because most adults already have it in their kitchen. Yet they're often using the wrong version, and that small mistake may completely change the benefit. Let's look at food number 6. Food number 6 is extra virgin olive oil. And here's the surprising part. Most people already have olive oil in their kitchen, but many are buying the wrong type. When cardiologists talk about olive oil, they're usually referring to extra virgin olive oil, not highly refined oils, not heavily processed blends. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the most studied foods in the world of heart health. In fact, when researchers study some of the healthiest populations in the world, one eating pattern appears again and again: the Mediterranean diet. And extra virgin olive oil is one of its most recognized foods. That's one reason many heart doctors use it regularly on vegetables, salads, and even whole grains. Not because it's trendy, because the evidence has continued to support it year after year. And the next food may be even more important if you're concerned about circulation. Now, here's something interesting. Many people assume the next food on our list is expensive. It isn't. Many people assume it's difficult to prepare. It isn't. In fact, it's one of the easiest foods cardiologists recommend adding to a weekly routine. And if you're concerned about healthy circulation after 60, you'll definitely want to hear this one. Let's look at food number 5. Food number 5 is salmon. And if you've ever watched a heart health program before, this probably isn't a surprise. In fact, many viewers expect salmon to be much closer to number 1. But the reason it appears at number 5 may actually surprise you, because there are still 4 foods ahead that many cardiologists eat even more consistently. Salmon earns its place on this list because it's one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fats. And unlike many nutrition trends that come and go, omega-3s have been studied for decades. When cardiologists talk about protecting the heart over the long term, they often focus on consistency. And that's one reason salmon appears so frequently in heart-healthy eating plans. Not because it's a miracle food, not because eating it once changes everything, but because small choices repeated over years can create very different outcomes. What's interesting is that one of the foods coming up next costs far less than salmon and is found in kitchens all over the world. Yet, many people overlook it completely. And here's something many people don't realize. The next food on our list isn't expensive. It doesn't require special preparation. And it appears again and again in some of the healthiest eating patterns ever studied. In fact, researchers who study exceptionally long-lived populations see this food so often that it's difficult to ignore. Let's look at food number 4. Food number 4 is leafy greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard. And while they may not be the most exciting foods in the grocery store, many cardiologists continue eating them year after year. One reason is that these vegetables contain nutrients associated with healthy circulation and healthy blood vessels. But what really makes leafy greens interesting is how often they appear in eating patterns linked with healthy aging. Now, if you're finding this information helpful, take a second to subscribe. Every week we publish science-backed videos focused on healthy aging, heart health, blood pressure, longevity, and staying independent for as long as possible. And speaking of longevity, the next food may be one of the most fascinating items on today's list. Because researchers studying some of the world's longest living populations keep finding it again and again. And here's something that surprised many researchers. The next food isn't expensive, it isn't exotic, and it doesn't come from a supplement bottle. In fact, some of the healthiest and longest living populations in the world have been eating it for generations. Let's look at food number 3. Food number 3 surprises almost everyone. Beans, black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils. Not supplements, not expensive powders, not specialty health foods. Simple beans. And yet researchers who study some of the world's longest living populations keep seeing them appear over and over again. That's difficult to ignore. What's especially interesting about beans is how simple they are. Many people spend years searching for complicated health solutions. Meanwhile, one of the most frequently observed foods in healthy aging research can be found in almost any grocery store. And unlike some foods on today's list, beans are also incredibly affordable, which may be one reason they've remained a staple food for generations. But the next food may be even more surprising, because many viewers expect it to be much lower on this list. Instead, cardiologists often keep it within easy reach every single day. In fact, if I asked most viewers to guess the next food, very few would get it right. Because despite all the attention given to expensive health products, this next food is something many cardiologists keep nearby as a simple, everyday choice. And what makes it especially interesting is what it often replaces. Let's look at food number 2. Food number 2 is walnuts. And honestly, this is where many people get surprised. Because when most adults think about heart health, walnuts rarely come to mind first, yet many cardiologists keep them nearby as a simple, everyday option. Not because walnuts are magical, but because of what they often replace. And that may be the most important lesson in today's video. You see, many cardiologists aren't constantly looking for miracle foods. They're often looking for better swaps. A handful of walnuts instead of highly processed snacks. A simple choice repeated hundreds of times throughout the year. And over time, those choices begin to add up. That's why food patterns matter so much. It's not just what you add, it's also what you replace. And the food ranked number 1 on today's list may be the best example of that principle, because it's sitting in millions of kitchens right now. Yet, most people completely overlook it. And now, we've reached the food that surprises almost everyone. It's inexpensive, it's available almost everywhere. It's been studied for decades. And unlike many expensive health trends, most people already have access to it. In fact, there's a good chance it's sitting somewhere in your kitchen right now. Let's look at food number 1. And food number 1 is probably not what most people expected. It's not an exotic superfood. It's not a rare supplement. It's not a product being advertised on television. It's oats. Simple oats. In fact, after everything we've discussed today, this may be the most overlooked food on the entire list, because many people walk right past it every week without giving it a second thought. For decades, oats have been one of the most studied breakfast foods in the world. One reason is their soluble fiber, a type of fiber often called beta-glucan. Now, you don't need to remember that name. What's important is that researchers have been studying oats and heart health for many years. And despite all the new health trends that appear every year, oats continue showing up in evidence-based heart-healthy eating plans. That says a lot, especially when so many nutrition trends disappear as quickly as they arrive. And maybe that's the biggest lesson from today's video. Many cardiologists aren't building their diets around expensive products. They're building them around simple foods. Foods they can eat consistently. Foods they can find almost anywhere. Foods they've trusted for years. And when you look at today's list, oats may be the perfect example. Simple, affordable, available almost everywhere. And that's exactly why it earned the number 1 spot. Notice something interesting about today's list. None of these foods are exotic. None require a special membership. None cost hundreds of dollars a month. And none were created in a laboratory. They're foods many people can find at their local grocery store. Berries, extra virgin olive oil, salmon, leafy greens, beans, walnuts, and oats. Sometimes the most powerful habits are also the simplest. And now I'd like to hear from you. Which of these foods do you already eat regularly? Berries? Salmon? Oatmeal? Or maybe something else entirely? Leave a comment below and tell us your age and the food from today's list that you eat most often. I read every comment, and many future videos come directly from your suggestions. If you enjoyed today's guide, make sure you're subscribed to Meridian Cornerstone. Every week we publish evidence-based videos focused on healthy aging, heart health, blood pressure, longevity science, muscle preservation, and staying independent after 60. And if you'd like to continue learning about the habits associated with healthier aging, you'll enjoy the next video appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next guide.